Okay, I got added to the stream, I think. All right, well, now I'm in. All right, there we go. All right, so I hope this screen is going to... Hold on, let me make a bigger screen. That way we can, all see what I'm doing here. All right, so this is a Star Wars writing class. It is this video. Basically, what this is, it's almost like a class on how to write in fiction and in the Star Wars universe. And yeah, that's really its purpose. I'm going to teach you how to create your own Star Wars character. If you ever want to start writing Star Wars, if you ever want to start like writing stories, I'm going to kind of teach the basics. So lesson 1 is character creation. So we've got names, species, physical traits, personalities, role, background, special skills, and gear. And so I am gonna kind of base this off of what I did for my High Republic, which I have officially renamed my rewrite of Star Wars: The High Republic, Star Wars Fallen Age. The Fallen Age, Fallen Age. So I am going to kind of base it off of what I've been doing in this series. I'm going to kind of show you my process. So how do we write a Star Wars character? How do we create a Star Wars character? Well, these 8 things, right here are the most important things you can have for your character. So let's start with a name. Now, names are definitely pretty tricky, I would say. Especially with Star Wars characters, because Star Wars characters usually have pretty wild names, like Aayla Secura, Kiadi Mundi, Darth Gravid. Like, Star Wars has some wacky names. Some wacky names. But if you have just a name off the top of your head, go with it. I'm going to show you this thing called a Star Wars race name generator. It's created by Fantasy Name Generators. And yeah, and it has like almost all the species in Star Wars. It has and even more, like with humans, it has Alderaanian humans, Corellian humans, Naboo, Lothal, Sereno, like a lot of the planets where humans originate from. There's even Darth names as well. And it has a lot of Star Wars species, which is really, really cool. So so we're gonna go. Let's just say I'm gonna make a character. We're gonna say he's a character in Fallen Age. I don't know if I'll actually put him in the era, but let's say that I have a Duros. Let's just say I have a Duros character, and it'll give you a bunch of names. You can get male names and you can get female names. So I'm gonna go to a male, and you can just kind of scroll around until you find a name that you like. We're gonna go with Zam Vox. All right, so we're gonna give Zam Vox. I think that's what his name was. Yeah, I got it. And then species is a Duros. This is probably the easiest way to get a name and a species. Now, physical traits is what does he look like? Because if it's just a book, you aren't going to be able to picture the character without a description. So we got to give a description of what Zam looks like, or whatever character your character looks like. So for Zam, he has blue skin, red eyes. I don't know if Duros don't have hair. He is bald, and let's just say he wears a leather jacket combat leggings, and has a scar over his right eye. Well, let's just say that. Let's just say that's what he looks like, and that's kind of like that's his description. And then we can have personality, and personality is very important to this character because it's going to define what kind of character your character is going to be. Because, I mean, the personality is kind of what's bringing this character to life. This is what people are going to remember your character for. So, and if you're going to have other characters, you want them to stand out. You want your character to stand out in comparison to like other characters. So we're gonna say for Zam, he is very cocky slash. He's very cocky, arrogant, um, he's charismatic, and he is sassy. So he's very arrogant. He's very hot. He's a hothead. He's firebrand, and that's just kind of his personality. So when you're writing him, you want to keep going back to, all right, what is his personality? He's more like that. So for his role, now the role, this dude can have any role ever, at all. So, sorry. So the great thing about writing a Star Wars character is there's so many roles a character can have. You can be a Jedi, a Sith, smuggler, bounty hunter. You can be a simple farmer. You can be a soldier. You can be you can be a death stick dealer. You can be a spice runner. You can be a monster hunter. You can be a mechanic. You can be a pilot. Like there's so many options for your character. So we're gonna say that Zam Vox is a monster hunter. He hunts rancors, he hunts wampas, he hunts kind of all those different creatures, and he kind of like gets money. He gets paid to kind of hunt giant monsters. So yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Now background. Background is actually pretty important because you want to know where this guy comes from. What is his backstory? What makes this guy tick? So background is very, very important. Very important to have. So we're gonna say for Zam, seeing as he's a very arrogant person, he's very charismatic, he's very sassy. He definitely is a pretty ragtag character. I think we can agree he's pretty ragtag. So we're gonna say he was born on Nar Shaddaa. In He was raised in a crime gang. Overthrew the gang and escaped into a life of monster hunting. All right, so there you got a pretty solid story right there. We know kind of how he got into his job is because he ran away. So, he definitely has more of a criminal kind of thing. So, and then we get to special skills. Now, what is he especially good at? Like, what kind of skills? And there's so many skills. You have the Force, you have martial arts, you have blasters, you have sniping, you have explosives, you have poison gas, you have piloting, you have hand-to-hand combat, you have infiltration, espionage, you have mechanics, you have farming, beast taming, rock climbing. He's a translator, stuff like that. There's so many skills you can have in this universe, and that's what's so great about it. So we're gonna say Zam is his skills are in demolitions. This man is a demolition beast. His let's just say his favorite move is he draws the monster into a pile of proximity grenades and blows them out of the sky. That's kind of like his methods. But that's how he rolls. And let's also say that he is really good at gambling. He is super good at it. And I mean, again, this makes sense to his character if we go back to his background, that he was raised in a crime gang. So gambling would probably be something that he grew up with. Again, the character's background makes up a lot of the character. The personality, his skills, and maybe even some physical traits as well. Like with the scar over his right eye and the leather jacket. And let's just say for one last skill that this character has, let's just say he's a really good translator. Like he can translate for other species. So say he's working for a hut and he has a partner, and you know, like they need a translator to talk to the hut. He's a good translator. So another thing, actually, I forgot one. I forgot one trait. Flaws. You do not want a Mary Sue or a Gary Stu character. You never want that. That's the worst kind of character that you can have. And you got to have at least one weakness or one flaw to this character to kind of just so he can struggle with something. So let's say Zam, he's really bad at infil. He's really bad at stealth and infiltration. Like he's a really broad person. He's always getting himself. Let's also say he's a really bad negotiator. He doesn't do well with negotiations. He's more of a violence person. He gets stuff done himself. And he's arrogant. So his arrogance often gets the better of him. So those are his weaknesses. And then his gear, I mean, this is kind of like, what does he wield? Does he use an electro staff? Does he use a lightsaber? Does he use the force? Does he use grenades? Let's just say that he uses let's say he uses proximity mines, an electro staff, and he carries a blaster pistol. So, see, this works. We've got a character with a name and a species. We know what he looks like. We kind of know what makes him tick with his background. We know his job. We know his personality. We know what he's good at and what he's not so good at. And when we write a fight scene with him, or if we do, we'll know how to do it. All right, so okay, let's okay. Let's make another character. And let's kind of see, like, because not every character can be the exact same. You want to have like a different character with All right, so let's go back to the species. Let's go back to the species name generator. Let's get a Corellian. So he's a human, but he's from Corellia. So let's get a Corellia. Let's get another male, and let's go with Osarn Hedgus. I know it's a really bad name, but okay. Hedgus. Um, and he's human. Corellia. So what does he look like? I would say, let's say he has darker skin. Why not? Let's say black hair. How much hair? Let's say he has long hair. Let's give him green eyes. He wears soldier armor. Let's say he wears armor. Let's say he's like an ex-soldier and he still has his armor. And he's a bandolier as well, because why not? His personality is he's very shy, soft-spoken, leader, brave. Like maybe he's like a really let's say maybe he had some rough experiences when he was a soldier, so he's a little more soft-spoken, a little more shy, but he still is able to take like that leadership role, and he's very brave. So let's say his role is an ex-stormtrooper turned assassin for hire. He's gone, and so his background is former imperial, defected after botched mission for in the underworld, something like that. And what are his special skills? Probably combat, and then we can kind of list hand to hand blaster rifle / pistol. That's kind of like where he specializes. Tactics and stealth. See, remember, the first guy, Zam, he is really bad at stealth. So we have another character that can make up for those problems. And that's a good thing. No weaknesses, maybe he's a little unstable. Maybe. Let's say he's yeah. He doesn't really control his emotions very well. And he's not a very good diplomat. He's not good with diplomacy. So that's kind of his thing. And then his gear, he can have blaster, rifle, maybe he has like repurposed stormtrooper armor. And a bandolier. So this is how you kind of write Star Wars characters or characters in general. And especially when you have multiple characters, you want them to have special abilities that make them different from each other. You want them to be different from each other, right? You don't want the same character every time. So we have a very arrogant, charismatic character and a very shy and brave, but more level-headed, even though the emotional turmoil. They have very different backgrounds. So they're coming to the story with very different perspectives. We have this guy who was born in a crime gang and overthrew it, and now he's kind of on the run. And now we have an ex-stormtrooper who's also on the run, but he decided to enter crime to run from the Empire, while Zam is more trying to get into monster hunting instead of a life of crime. You want them to kind of learn from each other. You want them to kind of develop together. And that's really all I have for how to write a character. So I hope this lesson was pretty good. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time for part 2, which will be about locations and settings. Get ready for that one. Stimmin360, signing off.